Welcome, everyone. Today we're talking about families and money. The title's called Tried to Keep My FIRE Situation Secret, but Family Found Out. What to Do Next. FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. So here we go. I've been on this FIRE journey since I was 18. I've done pretty well for myself so far, and I'm on track to retire by 40. But I royally messed up this week. This is just a reminder to everyone who can hopefully learn from my mistakes. Never, ever let people find out how much money you have. Hide it at all costs and don't trust anyone. Also, I need advice. My mom was in town the other day, and while I was at work, I let her chill at my apartment before an appointment she had. That morning, I was working on some papers for a visa application. For the application, I have to account for my current income and assets, $115,000 a year, $525,000 total. And I also include copies of my account statements. Those papers were on my desk in my bedroom in plain sight. I didn't think about it until she called me yesterday and flat out told me that she saw the papers on my desk. Then she started crying and told me in very clear terms that she expected help. She then laid out in detail all the financial problems that she and the rest of my family were having. I honestly didn't know what to do or say, so I just hung up. Yes, because I'm socially inept and can't handle a confrontation like that, I hung up and ignored the next 4 calls and 5 texts she sent. I also ignored the calls from my siblings and aunt. So I'm thinking that she talked to the rest of my family about this and told them that I am now ignoring her. $525,000 is basically an unlimited amount of money, and my family thought I was just as poor as they are, so I get it. I understand how much of a shock that would have been for her, but I wish I wasn't so careless. I had no idea she would go snooping in my bedroom. I don't know what to do now. I don't plan on ignoring my family forever, and I can't talk to any of my friends about this, so what would you do? Or if anyone here has actually dealt with a situation like this, advice on a way forward is greatly appreciated. I just feel like I've now become the family bank and everyone is going to constantly ask for a bailout. This is a bad situation. I don't understand how a mom can put this kind of weight on their child. Like, their child has obviously worked really hard if he's making $100,000 a year. I don't understand why she'd be snooping around. Or maybe even if she actually didn't saw it, just keep it to yourself. Like, if you were making his bed and you saw his bank statement, don't look, but for sure don't mention it. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell him. Don't. I mean, he has a life that he's doing well in, and you should be happy that he's doing well, and you shouldn't make it he owes you something. He doesn't owe you anything. I feel bad for this guy. Not to be a big rain cloud, but I think there is a solid chance your mom may have taken photos with her phone of these documents. You should keep that in the back of your mind when planning what to say and therefore minimize the untruths that could be disproven by these documents. I would find out ASAP if images exist and are being shared. This feels very wet blanket-y, so everyone please carry on with your supportive and wonderful suggestions. The next one says, more importantly, things like account numbers in conjunction with dates of birth, mother's maiden names, and calls for matching home phone numbers can be used to drain, transfer assets, order checks for these accounts. Lock those things down, or at least monitor the living heck out of them. So for sure that's true, and I didn't think of it, but if you have a picture of the statement, it's like having the statement. Then you can call for sure you know what company to call if you wanted to move. If you wanted to be evil, the company that has the money is on that paper, the account number, the name, the balance, and if you're a family, you know the person's address, you know his personal information. I mean, it seems like you have to be very, very, very careful. Now, I would change passwords. Oh, yeah, lock that thing down like the person says. You need to be very, very skeptical. Lock it down. You'd never guess you have to do that because of your family. My parents have a family member who kind of learned of their FIRE scenario. So every time this family member asks for money, my mom first demands to look at their pay stubs and where the money goes. If they can show her that 90% or more of the paycheck went to legitimate expenses, she will help. Turns out this family member spends 60% of their paycheck on going out to the bar, going out to dinner, and other stupid stuff. So mom said, I'll help you if you really don't have enough money and don't know how to run your money and don't know how to manage your money. If you're spending all of your money on groceries and rent and gas, I'll help you. But if you're wasting your money, I'm not going to help. So my mom says she will start helping once she is given full control over the person's finances and sets up a tight spending budget. All of a sudden, this person doesn't need help anymore. Strange. OP, I would suggest instead offering to help them get on track financially. Kill them with kindness and overly supportive financial advice. Be overly positive about helping them be more like you. They'll back off eventually if you can keep pushing this conversation, especially if it comes up around friends and family. I've told you 10 times, Mom, I'm willing to help you budget like I do. I'm not paying your bills when you refuse to accept help with spending habits. Go ahead, that sounds like a great idea. Tell your family members who are asking for money, let me see your budget, let me see your finances, let me see where your money's going. If it's really going all towards legitimate stuff, you don't have enough, then I'll help. But if you're wasting money, then it's on you. You gotta quit wasting money. That person goes on to say, also wanted to add an interesting way to look at things. If someone blows their money on a vacation and cannot afford to pay their bills, but then you help them out with their bills, you're essentially funding the vacation since the money normally saved for bills was used elsewhere. This is why you don't give people money to help them financially. Yes. If you pay for their nonsense, they're just going to come back and ask you to pay for the next round of nonsense and the next and the next and the next. You can't do that. First off, whether or not you want to hear it, but I'm going to say it, your mom has serious boundary issues. She should not be looking through her adult son's bedroom office. Then she goes and tells others, not good boundaries at all. For sure, that's not public information. For sure, she shouldn't say it, even if she saw it on accident, but she definitely shouldn't be calling the family and spreading it around. Ay, 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 awful, awful. Combine poor boundaries with poor sense of finances and you have trouble. I'm happy to see from other comments you will not loan money. It will be the beginning of the end of your FIRE journey. So if he gives them money, he can forget about retiring early. That's not wrong. On top of that, giving money with no contingencies and collateral means you won't be solving the root cause of the issues. To fix her problems, she's going to need to learn to fish. Don't give her a fish, teach her how to fish. With all that out of the way, you need to have a sit down with your mother and spell out how you value and cherish her, and she raised you to be the good person you are. You believe she can be just as successful as you with money if she is willing to listen and work. Tell her you giving her money will not solve the reason why she is in tight spots. You want to work with her to solve her problems, but it will not entail you giving her money. If she reacts poorly, then you need to set firm boundaries. That will not be easy on you, but it's the only way to get her to possibly be open to the idea of being responsible with money, as it's the only way she will ever get to see you. You need to tell her that you can't do this, this is not right, this will never happen again, and make sure, I guess, if your mom ever visits again, you have that stuff locked down, like not out in the open anywhere. If she goes around your house, you wouldn't ever be able to see it. The next one says, is there any reason that she'd know how much cash was included in your assets? If not, just tell her your assets are tied up in your house, retirement, something else illiquid. As for the salary, I like the idea of saying that it includes stock that you can't sell. Maybe tell a lie that you spend most of your income paying loans or something. So this person's saying, maybe I have lots of assets and lots of wealth, but it's all illiquid. I couldn't get access to it. If I pull it out before I hit retirement age, I pay some penalty and some taxes, so I can't do that. So even though it looks like a lot, it's really not a lot. That doesn't seem awful. Offer sympathy and to help them with direction, advice in their finances. Don't ever fall into their trap. I co-signed a loan for my mom in weakness, stupidity, because I owed her and she misses payments constantly, now cannot refinance. So instead of buying my own house for my young family, I'm stuck now with 10 times bigger hassle than I started with. Had I just used a sympathetic tone, but kept my resolve not to help her financially in any way, I'd have been fine. Family plus money ruins. Do not mix. For sure, for sure, for sure. I've seen this firsthand, not in my immediate family, but in people I know. It's bad. The people you would want to loan money to will never ask you for a loan. Sometimes walking away is the best option. It can be tough to walk away from family, but sometimes it's needed to be done. This will probably get a lot of downvotes, but it sounds like you are simply a very different person from your family. Plus, they seriously broke your trust and will be looking for handouts forever. I have a sister who was always looking for handouts and was simply just not a nice person. She found out how much money I make and always wanted money. I offered to help her set up her budgets and teach her about finance. She called me elitist and lots of other rude names. She said stuff like, I didn't know what it was like to try and live on minimum wage, etc. I offered to help pay for her education so she could learn skills and get a better job. She just called me more names. Eventually, I realized she didn't want to improve her life. She wanted handouts. She is currently on welfare. I haven't heard much in a long time, and that's 100% okay with me. So depending on how dysfunctional your family is, if your family is not okay, like listening to reason, that this is your business, not their business, this is your money for your retirement, for your family, they're not okay with that, there might be some case where you need to cut ties. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Remember, in the end, if they require money for a relationship, it's not a relationship, but a transaction where you lose your money and sense of self-worth. That's for sure true. That's too bad. But if you have to pay for someone to be in your life, then that's a bad situation. It's funny how people think of money. I don't mean to downplay the significance of you saving $525,000, but the way your mom reacted, it's like some endless magical refilling pile of wealth. If you started using the $525K to solve your family's problems, it'll run out quick. Especially because those problems will start having a higher frequency once they realize you bailed them out. So for sure, that's true. Like $525,000 is a lot of money, but it's not that much money. Like you can't be, man, I mean, you can't be, it's not gonna last forever for sure, especially if people have big problems, house problems or car problems. I bet you're gonna have more family members who want to befriend you so you can help them. So if you're usually talk to 5 family members, I bet after this is public, you're gonna be talking to 20 family members who are gonna all have problems and all gonna need your financial help. Yuck. My new rules for lending money. When my husband and I first started trying to take our finances seriously, we noticed a particular big leak in our finances. Lending friends and family money. My husband and I have lots of friends who never got their stuff together. Since we've been making decent money for years, they started getting into the habit of calling us when they got in a bind, $100 here, $20 there, $1,000 there. I realized we very rarely ever saw any of that money back. I needed to put a stop to this, but I still wanted to be able to help out my loved ones when needed. So I came up with some rules when lending money to loved ones. 1, I never loan money. If I can't afford to just give it to you, then I can't afford to loan it to you. It is a gift, and I never expect to see it back. Whether you give it back completely, up to you, and we're still just as good of friends if you don't. I will never let money come between us. 2, you only get one gift. If you give it back, then it's no longer a gift, and you're welcome to another gift should you ever need it. There is no limit to how many gifts you can receive and return, but only one at a time. Okay. No, you cannot receive a gift and then a day, week, month later decide you need to add on to that gift. So you can't change the amount. Once I give you $100, you can't say, oh, I needed $300. Final rule, no means no. If you try to guilt me or otherwise manipulate me, if I refuse to give you money, I'll walk away. We will not be friends or speak again until you understand that you just made me feel used and only valuable to you as a wallet. I will only forgive this once. More than once is just a pattern that speaks volumes about what I am to you. So far, this has gone well. Both good friends we have given money to under these rules chose to pay us back over time and have not requested a second gift yet. I think being able to repay us completely on their own time, of their own volition, and without any pressure from us made them feel more comfortable and respected. We've lost some friends over money before we established these rules. I'm really hoping this might help plug the financial drain and preserve friendship at the same time. These rules seem really cool. Don't loan money, you gift it. Everyone only gets one gift. If they repay it, that goes back to zero. Your counter goes back to zero. Once you ask for a gift, you can't change the amount. And if I say no, that's it. You can't try to guilt me into saying yes. I like it. Give it a try. So that's it for this discussion. If you try to mix family and money, you're going to lose. It's going to go bad. You're going to wreck relationships and wreck your family. Hopefully this never happens. But if it does happen, I think the best path is to say, I'm going to help teach you how to fish. I'm not going to give you fish. I'm going to help you understand your finances and correct your finances and make a budget and learn how to get in a place where you can save some money and stay out of financial trouble. But I'm not going to give you money. That's what I'm going to do. I would love to help you. You helped raise me. I'm going to help you with your finances. I think that's the play. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.